We offer customized, flexible nutritional counseling designed specifically for you. We work with diverse clientele of all different ages, different needs, and goals. Whether you are looking for fat loss, muscle gain, body composition shifts, improved health, performance, and endurance, we're here to help.
All right, Anabolic Academy with, I changed your nickname, Fakhri, to the Fac Attack. You like that one better?
I like the Fac Attack.
Yeah,
Okay, the Fac Attack. The Fac Attack is better than, okay. And Big Danny, Broadhurst, and Uncle John. All right, so I made this announcement on the last MD. I will not be having an MD show this week. This week, we're going to be doing the pre-Arnold show on my channel. So we'll be recording it on Wednesday, but we will be airing it Friday morning. And then we're going to have the post-show ASAP recording right after, and I'm going to put it up as soon as I can. Right after that, the latest I want it up is Sunday morning, so that, you know, people can get to it right away, because that one is time sensitive, because by the time I put it up, fucking everybody else will have it up, you know. But it'll be on this channel, Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding, and I need everybody to like and subscribe, and we'll get going. All right, so we got a few questions. All right, so the first question is, who do you think is going to move up in the top 5 at the Olympia in 2023? All right. So let me see. I think Nick will stay there. He'll be in the top 5.
I agree.
Who's going to move into the top 5, or who's going to be in the top 5?
Who's going to be in the top 5 in 2023? So I think Nick and Derek will be there. That's for sure.
Sure.
Nick, Derek, Hottie.
Hottie will definitely be there. I want to say that what's his name is going to be there.
Samson, maybe.
Not Samson, but what's his name?
Curry?
Who?
I was going to say Curry.
No, I wasn't going to say Curry. I was going to say Andrew Jack. I think Andrew Jack might have a good shot. We'll see what we'll see what he looks like at this Arnold. But I think if he really works on his back and hamstrings, and from what I understand, everything that Psycho Lewis and Chris Aceto was saying, he's
Looking good.
yeah. So if that's the case, I mean, if he really developed his back, his hamstrings, and his conditioning, it's lights out for everybody, dude.
I've seen pictures. He looks good.
Yeah, did you? Yeah. So I'd say Andrew Jacked, and then
And if Big Ramy fixed his body parts, I haven't seen his pictures. You know,
we'll find out. We'll find out at the Arnold. We'll see what happens. You know. Yeah, they're saying that too, though, right? That he somehow fixed his legs, and Chad Nichols was saying that he was constipated, but I don't know.
that happens.
Does it really? I don't know. What, you just take some fiber or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. I take that Fiberlize from Dave Palumbo. Dude, I take it every day. I shit like a fucking gorilla. I mean,
that's kind of overpriced.
Yeah, it is, but it works.
Yeah,
Really? Metamucil doesn't work that well for me. This one works a lot better.
Probably not taking the same amount.
I don't know.
How much Metamucil do you take?
I have no idea. I don't use Metamucil. I use Fiberlize.
It's just a bigger serving.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. And possibly Ramy, but I'm gonna say Samson, and I think that Nick, Derek, Hottie, Andrew Jack, Samson, possibly. Gun to my head.
Hunter.
Yeah, that's true too.
Hunter.
Yeah. We're gonna have to see what he looks like. Yeah, that's true too. He might sneak up in there too, because if he just changes a couple of things and fixes a couple of things, yeah, it could be a big difference. All right. How do you address high blood sugar in the off season when you're eating so much?
Danny?
Well, you time your carbohydrates, and try not to eat too much sugar. I mean, obviously, if we're taking insulin, it's a whole different ballgame, but
Right.
Time your carbohydrates to when you're going to be more active during the day, try not to eat a bunch of junk.
Mhm.
And
Isn't there medication you could take?
Yeah.
There is, right?
Oh,
If-
Insulin,
Metformin is very popular.
metformin, yeah, metformin. Yeah, but that's just a glucose disposal agent.
All right. What do
They
you
have
think?
some like cinnamon extract and stuff. You can take natural supplements too, but it doesn't really move the needle. What do you think, Fuck?
I mean, it's an individual thing, you know. So like, I never had my blood glucose levels were never high. And shit, I used to eat 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 calories a day. You know.
Yeah.
But if your blood sugar is high, then you have to be real careful to develop diabetes, and you know there's other diseases as well. But you know, if you have to see a doctor and get on a medication, and you know, it's a toss up, right? Because you're trying to get big, but you also don't want to get sick.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the person that asked the question asked it like in regards to like digesting their food. I guess maybe their blood sugar's high. So I mean, if it were me, I'd probably do like a period of like a diet, you know, like a low carb, you know, like a maybe even keto diet for a couple weeks, and then you know, like a little mini cut phase, and then go back to your off season if your blood sugar is running high.
And
But
that'll
like
also help with your appetite too, right?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
totally. But like
All right.
Fox, I've never had high blood sugar. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I never really, well, not on your level, but I can't speak to it as you guys did, but yeah, I never really had a problem with my blood sugar, you know. Okay, can there be permanent damage from extensive amphetamine use? Is that the question, Danny, or was it
Yeah.
extensive amphetamine use from years back?
In the
or-
past, yeah, in the
Yeah,
past.
from years back, yeah. I don't know, Danny, I'm gonna go to you on this one.
I mean, on your adrenal glands and everything, I think for sure. It takes, I mean, they have studies on the brain and I know I don't know about amphetamines, but I know about cocaine. Like if you do cocaine one time, it affects your brain for like 5 years, I think it is.
Really?
Dopamine systems. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it can really mess with your brain chemistry. As far as like the heart too, I'm sure that it's not the greatest for your heart, especially if you're taking PEDs, you know, enlarging the heart.
When they say amphetamine, what are they speaking of specifically?
Probably dextro, like Adderall. Adderall.
Okay.
Vyvanse converts to amphetamine in the liver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ritalin. Okay.
Ritalin, yeah, Ritalin, yeah.
Do you think in some of these pre-workouts they put something in? Because there are pre-workouts I take and I feel great.
Yeah,
And
they had that stuff, the DMMA. You remember that? Fuck, it was in
Yeah, of course.
Mesomorph and Jack 3D had it originally, and that one was similar. It had some kind of amphetamine structure.
I think the big the big companies nowadays don't do it, but some of the companies that became big were putting amphetamines in there and 1,3-dimethylene and a bunch of other stuff, right? So they took it out. But the underground companies that come out, you know, and they carry by stores, right? Because stores don't care about profit. So if you're going to give me a pre-workout, it's going to cost $15 rather than buying it from a major company, it's going to cost me $29.
Right.
About at $15.99, and it's not. Listen, it's not difficult to order the product, to order supplements from China and mix it up yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
we can order anything from China. So
Yeah.
there's been a lot of products that had, you know, illegal drugs in there.
Yeah.
You know, or Tyranobol, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
No,
Yeah.
Superdrol too.
Superdrol too.
Superdrol, yeah. Superdrol, that was actually originally marketed as a pro hormone. It was a steroid
Really?
that the pharmaceutical companies never picked it up. And I think Gaspari made a product. Don't quote me on that, but a company made a product with that in it, and it was a pro hormone, and it was actually a steroid that had been studied by pharmaceutical companies, and they knew it was a steroid.
I heard the same thing actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I take some pre-workouts like, and I feel I'm like, whoa, I'm ready to take over the world. And then I take some other pre-workouts and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. They want your opinion on SARM SR9009. I don't even know what the hell that is.
The health benefits.
I don't know. I'm not into SARMs.
Yeah.
I don't do any research on it.
Oh.
Where'd Fakhri go? We lost him.
No.
That's all right. He'll be back.
Yeah, so you know, you look at health benefits of SR9009 on Google, and it's like everything from cholesterol to sleep to, oh no, getting fucked twice now. But the bottom line is, I looked up, when it was created. It was created in 2013. If these drugs were so good and
Right.
had so much application, pharmaceutical companies would pick them up and market them. And there's a reason that they haven't.
I see. Yeah.
So,
right.
I mean, if they can make money off it, they would be making money off of it, and they would be selling it.
I mean, the 1990s were full of stuff, right? The 1990s was 19-norandrostene.
Yeah.
Androstene Dion. I mean,
that's right. That's right.
Those steroids, man. People would put on 20 to 25 pounds like in 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah. Everybody wanted the stuff Mark McGuire was taking. It was Andro, right?
Yeah.
What company was making that?
I forgot now.
I remember.
I know ProLab used to make up. Yeah.
A lot of them made, and I remember they kept it locked in a cabin.
Yeah.
You couldn't just fucking, because they didn't want anybody to steal it. It was unbelievable.
Steroids, maybe.
Yeah, right. It was unreal. Yeah, you're right. You're right. In the 90s, there was totally forgot about all that crap.
Hot stuff had a lot of
oh my God, Rip Fuel.
Had people in there, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there was. Then the NO Explode had blood thinners in it.
What?
Yeah, blood thinners. Yeah, they caught him with it, and BSN got in a bunch of trouble.
A lot of these major companies made a lot of fucking money through selling products or ingredients that weren't listed on the
labels. Well, if it's considered natural, then the FDA doesn't have to inspect it, right?
Well, it was before. I think there was a 2014 Supplement Act, so that's when a lot of things became like, companies had to focus on what they were releasing. But I mean, look at SARMs. People, some companies made millions of dollars off of SARMs.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Best age to hop on gear? Now, I want to say 21, but I don't know. What do you?
My personal listen. I started training at 16. I didn't take a year until I was 26. I guess it's my personal opinion is to max out your physique naturally, right? Yeah. So a lot of people don't do that because they get frustrated.
Nobody does it.
Everybody wants it tomorrow. Nobody wants to wait a couple of years.
Right.
But I was able to grow. I was able to put on 60 pounds. But
you're a freak of nature, Fakhri.
I mean, I've trained. Listen, I trained really hard. I was consistent. I was consistent with my diet. I trained hard. So at 26, I decided to compete. If I never competed, I probably would have been doing like very minimal dosages to look good.
Right.
Guys, don't go on a 14. You see, like there's two twins. Have you seen those two twins?
Yeah, the Trent twins. Yeah.
Twins.
That's what they call themselves, right?
That's insane.
Yeah, I know.
There was a young kid who had a heart attack, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. It was like
right, famous
20
guy
or something like that.
They all look up to, right? The Australian guy.
I think I'm not sure.
I
don't know. I don't follow the social media guys too much. I follow the bodybuilders much. And the only reason why I know who the Trent twins are is because Trigilli covers them all the time.
He covers them.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, man, I don't know. I guess I agree. You should definitely. I mean, for a very, very short period of time, I thought I wanted to train people, and these young kids would talk to me in the gym, and they would be 18, 19, and they'd be like, you're not gonna, I would never recommend anything that young. Like, just do a natural show. You never did a show before, do a natural show, and see. But it never worked out because nobody ever followed the diet I ever gave them, and I didn't have much of a passion for it, so I just packed it in. It's like, this is fucking crap. That's what happened. What happened?
I wouldn't personally give a steroid protocol to anybody between the ages of 14 to 21. No. They've never done it themselves.
Right. Yeah, that's right. There was this one kid that wanted my help, and he worked in like the vitamin shop or GNC or something like that. GNC, right? And I wouldn't give him any kind of like, steroid thing. I just gave him a diet. He was a young guy, maybe 18, 19. And then well, out of nowhere, I got a call from his father.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and the kid was in the hospital, and he goes, did you tell my son to take anything? And I was like, no, man. Like I was like, I gave him a diet because he wanted to be a bodybuilder, and I what do you call it? I was like, if he takes anything, it's over the counter stuff, like maybe creatine or protein, but I never, and I was like, wow, that's really what I was like, maybe this isn't for me,
Crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. But anyway, all right. Is insulin usage for everyone who wants to get big and strong like a bodybuilder?
Danny, you can take this one.
I mean, probably, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about the guys in the Olympia, I mean,
The elite.
yeah, I'd say most of them, if not all of them.
But aren't there certain body types, like if you put fat on quick, is insulin not a good option from what I understand?
If you're not taking a lot of growth hormone. It's
see.
a horrible option if you're not taking growth. I mean, if you're not taking growth hormone, it's going to make you really fat.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but if you're taking, a lot of growth hormone, then in addition to that, but it's like anything, it's, you start off and you just do a little bit of testosterone, and then you add a little bit of something else, and
right.
then you add a little bit of something else, and then at the very, very end, when you're, that's like your last, card you want to pull, is to add that in, it's not something you add in when you're 200 pounds,
Yeah, right. What do you think, Fact?
I mean, I've known guys who won the Olympia without ever taking insulin. It's like what Danny said. It's like the last card, but people don't wait until the last card, right?
No, they don't.
It's like 1 month they're on 500 milligrams of test, 3 months later they're on 1,000, and
Right.
2 months after that they're on insulin already. But is it necessary? It is the strongest storage hormone there is, so it's going to store the most amount of everything. It's not just glycogen storage; it's going to store protein. It's going to store everything. So it's the strongest storage hormone. It's probably, I mean, it's been identified as the most anabolic hormone as well, because the amount of growth that it gives your body. But you have to be very careful on it. And like Danny said, it has to be done with GH.
Yeah, that was the one. Once I got to the point where trainers were like, "Oh, maybe you should try using insulin." That's when I was like, you know what? I'm done. That's when I had drew the line, But by that point, I was already in my 30s, and I, kind of was grounded and stable and had a head on my shoulders, and I wasn't going to let anybody like influence me or anything like that. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that, Anyway, all right. Okay. Can you build a champion bodybuilding physique on growth hormone, insulin, and TRT? Why would you only do TRT if you're already doing GH and insulin? You might as well you might as well go all the way at this point. Like, it's almost like, it's almost like running before you could crawl. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I was the one who actually got the question for everyone who's listening. I guess I should have asked a couple more questions to the person, but I guess they were more asking because of the side effects of steroids, to keep them low. But then now you're jumping on insulin, which is one of the most dangerous drugs in bodybuilding. To build a championship physique, it's genetics, and we've seen a lot of guys do it, very low level stuff. So if you're talking about can a physique guy turn pro on 200 milligrams of tests every 7 days, 10, 20 milligrams of anabolic per day, 4 IUs of GH per day? Yeah, physique guy could do it. I've seen it. I've turned physique guys pro naturally. I've turned some bodybuilders pro naturally, light, heavyweight, and under. But you rather do a little bit of the actual gear, 500 milligrams of test, something something around there, 50 milligrams of Anavar, you know, some maybe 400 milligrams of Deca and add the GH. But insulin isn't for everybody. It's just not. You have to time it correctly. If not, you're gonna fucking faint. You could die from that stuff. You know, so it has to be correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't recommend anybody use insulin, man. Period. You know, like unless you are an elite bodybuilder and you have somebody like Fakhri or Danny by your side as a coach or something like that, that's a different story. And but for the most part, if you're like an amateur trying to, if you can't turn pro without using insulin, what are you gonna do when you turn pro?
I mean, you know, the thing, what are you saying, Puff?
No, I said I turned pro without using insulin.
Yeah. Go ahead, Danny. What were we gonna say?
I mean, the thing about it too is you know, you have to like be really, a lot of people aren't strict on their diet, you know, and to do that you have to be really strict and even strict to the point of if you know, I'm telling you to take insulin at 1:15, you have a meal at 12:30. If you have that meal at 12 and then you still take the insulin at 1:15, the meal from 12:30 was supposed to have carbs in it, so that insulin, so it would work towards that insulin that you're going to have at 1:15 along with the carbs you're going to have at 1:15 with the insulin.
I see
So
what
if
you're
you
saying.
take the meal, or if you don't, you miss the meal and then you take the insulin at 1:15 and you haven't had anything in before, then like it all compounds through the day. Like the carbs don't just, you know, if you have carbs 30 minutes before, 45 minutes before you take your insulin, and then you take your, you know, Humalog, even rapid acting insulin, those carbs are still going to be in your system and it's going to work towards the insulin that you're taking. So if you're not like, you know, to the point where, you know, if you work a regular day job and, you know, your boss calls you and you know,
Right.
you're getting shit, you know, you have, you know, normal stuff that you got to do and your life doesn't revolve around bodybuilding, it's probably not a very good idea.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
It's
Yeah,
like the last resort. You probably be better off, this person probably better off, just like Fox said, taking a little bit more tests and or adding, you know, some Deca or Anavar or something.
Right, yeah. I was having that conversation with a friend of mine today. He's got a great job, but it's a you know, it's a stressful job. You know, it's a physical job. He's an engineer in a building, and he's like, you know, sometimes I can't eat because I know I have to work. I got to do something. My boss calls me. I got to get rid of it. I can't tell my boss, oh, I got to stop to eat. You know, and that's just real life. That's just real life shit. I think too many people, you know, I think too many people have this dream of being a bodybuilder, but they're kind of chasing something that they shouldn't be chasing. You know, as far as I'm concerned, if you can't, if people aren't telling you need to compete, you could turn pro in your 20s, in your early 20s, you know, so like that. If you're not making damage by that point, I don't know. I just don't think wasting your 30s and 40s to get a pro card is necessary, unless that's how you're kind of making a living, right? Unless you are a personal trainer or online trainer, and you know that IFBB thing is going to increase, you know, that's a different story. But I don't know. I just don't. I don't see it as necessacere. You know,
I think, John, it's a matter like what you said. Yeah, it has to be, and Danny mentioned it earlier too. It has to be consistency.
Yeah,
I know. I always tell people bodybuilding is not hard. Consistency is hard, right? And
that's right.
Consistency in life, period, is hard. So imagine having to eat at a certain time. Like if you have a job where you cannot get a meal in. I mean, a lot of people work that professional bodybuilders. Nobody just lays around all day and gets to Beth Francis gym at 10 o'clock in the morning every day, you know?
Right. Yeah, right.
But you still have to prepare. You have to be consistent and you have to prepare.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
like Danny, you had a regular job, right? And you actually had to quit because you weren't getting past a certain body. That same guy I had a conversation with about work. He goes, yo, I was checking, because he watches the MD show. He goes, yo, I was checking out your friend Danny, and because he was looking at the Milos leg workout.
Oh yeah.
He goes, that boy's a monster. He's like, that's a big dude. I was like, yeah, I know, man. Yeah. All right, gentlemen. So we will be back Wednesday for recording the pre-show. I gotta do my research on the classic guys, because I don't even, the only one I know
What
that's
is
doing it.
classic?
Yeah, well, the only reason why is because a lot of people like the classic.
Yeah, they do.
You know, they really do like the classic, and just because I'm not a fan of it doesn't mean I shouldn't cover it, and I should cover it because people like the classic. So I figure we'll just do the open and the classic, you know.
Yeah.
There's no 212, and I don't think I have a lot of girls watching this, so you know, then the wellness stuff. Nobody's. I'm not gonna cover that bikini. Yeah, I'm not gonna cover that. But yeah, the classic and the open, I think we'll probably cover on Wednesday. And again, it'll be on this channel, Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding. Like and subscribe, because I bring you the best guys in bodybuilding, like Fakhri Attack and Big Danny Broadhurst. And that's it. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Always appreciated. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Good seeing
Have
you
a
guys.
great night, everyone.
Later.